Today marks 1472nd day share lessons I learn and continue to learn with you. My hope these insights can inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about a very interesting question, and that is like how to live your life when you do not like your life. How to live your life when you do not like it. I think that there is 7 points that I want to share today that really could potentially help. That okay, like if I don't like my life, it's not that I don't like my life. Maybe I don't like parts of my life. What parts of my life I do not like? What parts do you want to change? And today we'll share seven things that potentially we can do to really change, improve, and get better. But most important part that if you don't like something, you're able to change it. I think that the most upsetting thing is when we think that our life. I think that every single time when you think about okay, I don't like something, I mean that's the time when we're able to be aware and reflect that we are able to change, and sometimes we're able to change response into things that is happening. So number one is that drop the shoulds. I think that's very easy, including myself. And when I hear a should, right now, right away, I think, okay, that's not the best way of thinking. It's you do it or will you not? Because should is sometimes we create so much bad emotions or negativity. So rather than saying should, so I will do it or I will not. Because if you say I will not do it, that means at least you take yourself out of pressure. Because if you say I should do it, we put expectations, and most likely you will not accept or will not achieve those expectations, and you will be very, very, very disappointed. So first thing, rather than saying I should be happier, I will be happier because I will take actions and achieve it. So I think that the words what we use will dictate how we will act as well. So like we should again. This is sometimes it's not easy to really get rid of them. We will remove should out of our lives just to make sure that we're able to achieve the things that we want. Number two, shrink the time horizon. Shrink the time horizon. So what I mean, but sometimes when you are in really, really, really bad situation, that means rather than thinking in that 20 years in the future, maybe it's time to really reflect and see what you can do within 24 hours. Such an interesting thing. What you can do with 24 hours, because if you will compile consistent 24 hours and you'll achieve 24 hours, you will feel better about yourself. You have better confidence, better comfort with yourself, more courage, more trust. So when you win day after day, we will win a week, we will win a month, and of course that will lead to even winning years. But if you're thinking about achieving that massive vision when we are told in a hall is very, very hard to think about a vision. For let's example, when you really see the mountain, you want to achieve that mountain, you want to really climb the mountain. But imagine you are in a hole, in a deep hole beside the mountain. So it means in that hole, you will not see that vision. You will not see that mountain because you're in a hole. So the first thing sometimes is getting out of that hole so you can stand on the ground and look into the mountain and look into the vision again. And it's a big, big part. Rather than thinking about the vision when you're in the hole, maybe it's time to really think about how to get out of the hole that you can see the vision and the mountain that you want to climb. And that's again shrinking the time zones. That allows you to get like, I want to climb out of this hole. So like, what kind of daily activities could I do just to make sure that I get into the ground level. Number three is identify the pain signals. So it means if you do not like your life, that means there is something going on that you do not like. Maybe there's some kind of suffering, maybe it's a pain, maybe it's like external pain onto you, maybe there's internal pain that you create by yourself, by self-sabotaging. So addressing elephant in a room. Elephant in the room is if you do not like your life, there is something that you need to change. And again, the question is, are you willing to change? Are you willing to change what needs to be changed? I think sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard because known difficulty sometimes is better than unknown treasures. I think that it's very important to understand that we need to identify what's exactly is holding us here. When you know that, then of course we will need to really work on ourselves to really take action. It's not will be easy, But at least when you know it, then you start able to read books, you're able to really ask mentors, you're able to ask guides, you're able to speak with friends and mentors. Because if you do not know what's going on, it's even harder. How are you supposed to solve the problem if you do not know the problem? So first thing, you need to identify the the pain signal. It might be that you're just living a life out of your values. Maybe say I want to live a life based on my values, but when I look into my activities doesn't align with my values. And of course, that's what we need to figure out. Number 4, rebuild power in tiny acts. And again, this is a part of 20 shrinking the time zone, right? I'm thinking about 5 years, maybe I could do in one day. And that's again what you can do, tiny acts. So that in a day, every single day, what kind of tiny acts you can do. I think that the most important part in life is really making sure how we can really any kind of activity to bring to small tasks, tiny acts you can do, because tiny acts is easy and simple to do. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes even tiny acts could be difficult and hard, but it's simple. The most part is simple because every single simple act that you do generates some kind of dopamine, some kind of celebration if you celebrate your tiny acts. Because when you are at the bottom of the hole, we need to learn to celebrate tiny acts. I know that it might be that in the past you were able to stride, run, and even fly. But now, when you're in a deep hole, we need to learn how to really celebrate tiny acts because those celebrations, that gratefulness of action will lead to more energy to pursue bigger and bigger and bigger things. And that is a probably key, especially hard for people who have achieved pretty decent success and then they are lower because of external circumstances. So they need to lower their standard for a season of their life, not for a lifetime, but for the season of life that they could feel as aspired and see the progress they are doing. Because if you look into the massive acts, oh, I was able to do that and that and that, and now you're not able to do it, of course, that will put again in a negative state, and that's not what we want. Number 5 is find meaning, not motivation. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing because I know that, including myself, so many people, so many of us are looking for that motivation. I'm gonna feel motivated. I will do this and this and this. And just waiting for motivation and seeking motivation. I'm reading books to get motivation. I'm reading, I connect with people to get motivation. But when maybe we could change that and start looking for meaning. What could be meaningful for me? What kind of activities could be meaningful? What kind of connections could be meaningful? What kind of books could create more meaning? What kind of things would allow to feel more fulfilled? That's the thing that the beautiful thing when we're able to really seek meaning, because meaning gives peace, better attitude. Motivation is fleeting, comes and goes. But sometimes when you really pursue something meaningful, you don't need to have motivation, you have discipline. And with that discipline, you pursue that meaning. And you pursue with discipline and meaning, you feel so much better. Because know that you're living your life in alignment. And that's more important than motivation. Discipline, I've ever said that the discipline always eats motivation for breakfast. Because of course it's much, much more important. But what's more important than even discipline is meaning. Because with that meaning, you're able to use discipline. Because I think that sometimes it's hard to use discipline if you have no idea what you're doing, what that discipline is for. So meaning is the engine of discipline. Number 6 is get around reality-based energy. And that means again people who are actually pursuing something bigger for themselves, who healing, who transform, rather than complaining and say like, oh, the government is bad, people are bad, the company is bad. Like, there's easy to complain. We can find millions of things to complain, but finding things to improve, finding ideas to get better, finding ideas to heal, to become whole, to be more present, to be more mindful. That's what we're supposed to seek. That's what we so also around ourselves. Sometimes at the beginning, I always say that the number one thing, sometimes when you do not have people around you, you're able to go to library and pick up and find the people to really build your circle. That's the most important part. You're able to really at the beginning to really make circle with the people that maybe already passed away. And they could be in your corner, helping you, guiding you, and help you improve your life, help to improve your mind. That's the most important. You help to improve your mind and the way how you communicate. When you start to communicate and think differently, you attract different people. So when you think about surrounding yourself with reality-based energy, is that when you start thinking different, communicate differently, addressing things differently, you will naturally find people who are based in reality. Because if you're stuck in a certain people say, I would love to have better friends, become better friend. Learn, develop, grow. Maybe you'll not be able to read the book in a week, like people who read a lot, maybe even sometimes even 3 days. But you will be able to read the book in a month, maybe even 2 months. It doesn't matter because that will develop that skill. Because I know people who have started reading 2 pages a day for a while until start to really build that muscle of reading, and now they are amazing readers. And I think that's a beautiful thing that we're able to really stick to ground ourselves, to really find other people like ourselves who are going after reality based thinking. Number 7, and last one, don't chase happiness. Build respect for yourself. And this is kind of very, very powerful thing because I think sometimes we really seek happiness. But I learned that that's probably the very fleeting emotion, exactly the motivation. Pursue meaning rather than motivation. Now, pursue respect for yourself rather than happiness. Such important things. So again, discipline will build respect, not necessarily happiness. Sometimes we will be disciplined and unhappy. But when you build that respect, because you said that you will do something and you do it, you build respect, you build your trust with yourself. So then what kind of things do you want to do to really build respect for yourself? And you think about people that you really respect. Think about people that you respect. And why do you respect them? Why do you respect them? Maybe you want to really build those character traits that we could respect ourselves as well. I think that that's when we able to respect ourselves. Even like when if you are in toxic relations with friends, with the family members, when you build that respect for yourselves, you will leave that relationship. They will leave because I'm not able to really handle your seeking for respect, or maybe you will leave because you understand this is not what you're supposed to really settle for. And respect is a very, very powerful thing because respect teaches you how to really say to yes to the right things, say no to the wrong things. And when you respect yourself, life could change just by respect itself. Because with disrespect, with no respect to ourselves, we do not eat healthy because respect for yourself is eating healthy. Exercise for yourself is respect for yourself. Because if you do not respect yourself, you will eat shit. You will not exercise. So respect for yourself is one of the key aspects of changing your life. Because the activities and people that you used to respect, that you used to allow into your life, because you respect you will not allow those things in your life again. So I hope that you reflect as well, because maybe there's something in your life that you want to change, and maybe those 7 things will allow you to reflect, and maybe okay, that's what I could do right now to really improve and change my life. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.